What's up?
Binji, what up, sir?
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. I love your background. It's very cool.
Oh, doesn't it look like Josh and I are not, 1,000 kilometers away from each other? We're just in the same studio. You see the 11 a.m. just casting across evenly in the back there. Technology's incredible, my friend.
Can you turn the camera around? I'm curious.
Yeah, sure, we'll do that right after this interview, Binji, because we got too much to get into with you here, my friend.
Yeah, let's go.
So, Binji, what is your role at the Youth Foundation?
So essentially storytelling. I think there's so much that happens in the Ethereum ecosystem that may go unnoticed sometimes. There's builders building incredible things. There's EAPs happening. There's so much movement. It's so expansive that finding ways to communicate that to the broader community, finding ways to create initiatives that help like builders and others alike kind of to be tapped into the happenings of Ethereum is something that I'm basically doing. The short way to say it is I help builders be seen and understood. And brilliant people generally. It doesn't necessarily have to be a developer or a technical person. It can be anything within the community that is worth amplifying and helping out on how do we take this to the world thing.
Got it.
So you were at Optimism and you just made the hop over to the Ethereum Foundation. I'm curious, why make this move right now?
Yeah, I feel like there's so much amazing things that happen within Ethereum. And I was very, very lucky and privileged to have experienced those personally in various different ways. And I feel like there's a story worth telling. It's almost like the best story never told. And if I can play even the tiniest impact in telling that story and helping create new ones, that felt like a worthy endeavor, especially where we are in the world today. I like to say that I think the promise of decentralized technology and systems and an open internet is probably one of the most important things to work on in our time. I index on that as my number one, and I feel that Ethereum is the best way to make that happen. So any way I can make that happen and play a role in that felt like an immense opportunity. And I've been really grateful for all the mentors in my life and everyone who's kind of pushed me to come here. I kind of landed in crypto through various different means. And it's cool that you can just do things and like hopefully make some sort of an impact.
Yeah, I'm curious when you, I guess, fresh within the Ethereum Foundation, I'm curious what you think they're getting right at the moment and where you see some kind of big opportunities to improve.
There's so much movement happening. I think what people may have like said in the past, a lot of that is like probably offset. You'll see the impact of this over time as well. It's relatively still new. We're still fresh. The eco dev team, for example, has an enterprise team, has an app development team. There's an Ethereum everywhere. We're doing community hubs all around and really like going end to end with them. There's more like content being created. There's a lot more happening, I think, when it comes to representing Ethereum to the world and representing cryptography and crypto is a general concept to the world. I think like the way the industry is today is we're still small when it comes to mind share of like everyday people, and I think that's something that like with more of a force coming from Ethereum itself, we can help tell that story better and hopefully take this to the world. And this is like I like to think of it as continuity. I think in crypto there's been like a lot of gaps. There's like the marketers on this side, there's the BD people on this side, there's the protocol engineers on this side, there's community members on the other side. There's not been a connective layer or connective tissue across all of those, which is why sometimes they may be like, oh, this thing was out of touch or this thing wasn't like, they didn't get it. And now I see this like very active role where we're like, we are there, we're in the trenches, we're with you, and we're building alongside you. And this includes everyone from like enterprises that are getting interested in crypto to the builder that's just getting started and maybe went to an ETH Global hackathon or something. So there's a lot there. I think it's like presence is probably the word that encapsulates it the best. But yes, so it's been a really, really cool energy. And I think one of the things is once this has happened, the whole world has opened up. Like everyone wants to talk to the EF, everyone wants to do these things, everyone wants to do these initiatives and all of that. And it's really, really exciting to see that. And I think it also galvanizes the community broadly outside the EF. And it's really cool to see that, over the past couple of months when there was so much negative sentiment around Ethereum, people really stepped up. I don't think it's like, I remember talking to Cheryl in the past of like, it's not necessarily like we're stepping away, we're stepping up almost into what Ethereum is based on like empowering the members and the people within the ecosystem, all in all walks of life throughout it.
So part of the current bull case for Ethereum is that it will be the neutral settlement layer for TradFi institutions to want to build on and use and come on chain. So I'm curious how you guys think about both supporting that more institutional move while also wanting to maintain this grassroots culture that has led to the weird, wonderful things that are ultimately have been the key to the original adoption of Ethereum.
Yeah. So there's an enterprise team led by David Walsh, Ash Morgan, and a couple others as well, Matthew. And that team has been going all in. Like they are speaking to everyone. There's a lot of interest. They're educating people. They're connecting people, and kind of creating this continuity lever where like what the protocol team's research is, how do we translate that to institutions, and how do we kind of show that this is not just what it is today, but what it's about to be in the future, and how you can integrate with it and how it makes your life better. Very much thinking from first principles, not just like, hey, cool tech, but actually like, here's a problem that you have. Here's how a blockchain can solve it. Here are people who have solutions. Let's do something. Let's pilot something. Let's actually do things, basically. So that's very exciting. I think on the flip side of it is the community lever. I mean, there's so many accelerators, there's so many hackathons still around. There's Jason Chaskin leads the app acceleration team. And basically they did something in New York with nouns. A lot of app builders are much more excited. They feel heard, they feel listened to. So it's in conjunction. Those things have to happen at the same time, but they have to be connected. And that's the missing link, right? We can't just do app builders on this side, institution on this side. Those things are very symbiotic. The app builders become the institution in some cases and like become very embedded within it. And I think we've seen that in Ethereum already. And it's just about like channeling that energy a lot more. So it's looking up. It's very, very exciting, the amount of interest from all levers. And we're very excited to like work with the L2s, work with other people in the ecosystem, tell that story, and create that continuity as well, and give advice and give feedback where needed and where helpful.
I'm curious, what are some categories that aren't necessarily hot right now that you wish more people were building in? I've seen you talk a lot about zk-TLS. I think privacy. I think there's a new ERC 8004 that launched. So curious where you see these big kind of pre-narrative opportunities.
Yeah, I can go on all three. So let's start off with zk-TLS. Kanye West dropped a meme yesterday. What? Like, and it dropped it and it went to all like the people who were like scouring things on chain, right? Like it doesn't go to the people that actually use his things or his fans or whatnot. zk-TLS allows you to do that. You could create a way to airdrop the top 1% of your listeners on Spotify. That's cool. That onboards more people, right? And this is exactly the continuity side where you have people building these launchpads, you have people building these distribution systems that want to get crypto to go to the world and want to get like associated figures in the world to start evangelizing and pushing crypto. But without the continuity where those people are also in touch with the researchers, are also in touch with some of these infra projects that are doing things like zk-TLS, there's a missing gap. So part of it is like, okay, let's evangelize this idea of zk-TLS. People who are building in it can use it. Let's connect them with the infrastructure providers that allow it to happen, and let's actually make it happen, right? So that's one, zk-TLS. Like, let's meet people where they are. Let's not expect people to come through the multiple loops to come on chain. Now, I mean, it's like 5 seconds to come on chain now. We can meet people where they are. And the technologies like zk-TLS could allow us to do it. It's still experimental. There's still a lot to do, but it's cool to at least be able to experiment and evangelize and have people potentially try these things. Second is privacy. So it's something I think about a lot. I'm in the UK right now, and you have to KYC for basically everything. Like you have to KYC. I believe you need to put your passport. You need to take a picture of your passport to listen to explicit music on Spotify, right? That's wild. Okay, like that's just a general world problem. You can go anyone on the street, you even say crypto, you're like, dude, that's just fucked up, right? Sorry, pardon my French. But ZK kind of fixes that, right? I can basically just give a proof that I am over 18. Great. Now my privacy is kept. Spotify doesn't know my address. Now on the flip side, Spotify is also happy. Billions of dollars are lost in value through compliance breaches. Spotify needs to hold this because the governments are telling them, regulators are telling them you have to KYC. Spotify probably doesn't want to do that, right? They just have to do it. You go to the Spotify team and you basically like, hey, ZK kind of fixes this. Here's a pilot implementation of a way you can still get KYC credentials, you can still verify someone's over 18 without taking their data. That saves you from any compliance risks. That saves you millions of dollars in like spending like for third parties and things. And so that's one step. Then from there, you work with Spotify to like go to regulators and be like, hey, let's make this campaign proofs, not passports. And then you kind of get real change going. So what it goes back to in the idea of continuity is when you have researchers and app builders and enterprises all kind of working in conjunction, or at least there's a communication layer that's a connective tissue across all of them, you can create these solutions that actually create long-term change in the world. It's not just like, oh, we did a fun experiment at a hackathon. It's like, well, we made this thing that now enterprises are using and it's saving them billions of dollars, and it's actually made the world a better place when it comes to privacy. So that's the second. The third is the agent stuff. So very fascinating. Like all financial rails are coming on chain, is the thesis. Financial rails themselves are going to change. The way we interact with finance is going to change. AI is going to be a massive part of that. AI can make things very efficient too, like prediction markets and things. Vitalik has a really good blog on what it could be as well, which I recommend checking out. And we're making a big step there. So it's like 804 is a way to basically communicate with agents to like verify their communication with each other. When I'm speaking to you, we're speaking in a shared language. We're speaking English. I'm using words that you're familiar with. I'm not making up words or like making up
You made
things
a
as
few
much.
words in your bio, to be fair.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You gotta have some creative freedom, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, so like that's also exciting. So those are like three things. I mean, I think there's so many other narratives, but when I think of narratives, I think of reverse engineering them. Like, what is a user problem? What is a human problem that my mom will have in the next 5 years? How can crypto fix that problem? How can we then create guides on like content around how crypto can fix this problem? How do we then create guides on how anyone and the business case of why someone should fix that problem, and also a guide on how they can fix that problem? And you kind of package these up. Obviously, I think we all agree that apps are the future. And in order for apps to be the future, we need to steward them and help them end to end, where it's not just like you do a hackathon, you get a badge, but you actually have like, whoa, there's this amazing opportunity that I could build, and here are the tools to build it.
I mean, we love hearing that. Binji, I again have a million more questions for you, but we are on a tight timeline today. So I really do appreciate you hopping on at the end of your day to jump in here. Congrats on the new role. I mean, from our point of view, there's been a complete 180 as far as the support and outreach and engagement from the EF. And I have a lot of friends over there now. So I think very much see that compounding over the next little while, and excited to see you in that room as well.
Of course. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me, Eli.
Thanks.
Peace, man.
Peace. See ya.